At exactly 12:03 a.m., every night, a soft knock echoes at the abandoned dormitory door, and they say it's the sound of a girl still waiting for the only person she ever trusted, even though she died 20 years ago. But last month, someone answered the knock.
This story takes place at St. Brigid's boarding school, one of those old colonial-era schools with cracked red tiles, endless hallways, and dorm rooms that always feel colder than the weather outside. Students whisper about a legend they call the girl who waits. They say she was once a quiet student named Lena, a girl everyone overlooked except one boy. The boy who promised he'd walk her home after prep every night. But the night she disappeared, he never showed up. Since then, people claim her spirit still waits by the dormitory door, still believing, still hoping that someone will keep the promise she clung to in life. And if you hear her knock, she thinks you're him. Kelvin is our newly transferred student, quiet and focused, the kind of student who prefers reading to noise. On his first night, he notices something unusual. While everyone sleeps, the hallway lights flicker rhythmically, like someone walking slowly beneath them. At 11:58 p.m., the temperature drops. At 12 a.m., his door handle trembles very softly, but when he checks, no one is there. The next night, he hears a whisper. "Are you here?" Not angry, not threatening, just sad. Tunde tells himself it's the wind, but the third night, he sees it. As he heads to the bathroom, he notices someone sitting on the hallway bench. A girl in an old-style school uniform, sleeves torn slightly, hair covering her face. She sits perfectly still, as if carved out of shadow. He blinks, and she disappears. He asks his roommate about her. The roommate's face drains of color. "You saw her?" He explains the legend. Every few months, someone new sees the ghost girl. Always a boy, always one who walks alone at night, always one she mistakes for the person who promised to walk her home. Kelvin feels a strange pull toward the story, not romantic, but emotional, like recognizing a loneliness you've carried yourself. That night, at exactly 12:03 a.m., the knock comes again. This time, closer, gentler, almost hopeful. Tunde freezes, because alongside the knock, he hears quiet breathing behind the door. Kelvin gathers courage and opens the door. The hallway is empty, except for a single tear-shaped droplet on the floor, shimmering like glass. Then the lights flicker off. When they flash on again, she is standing right in front of him. Not gruesome, not bleeding, just unbearably pale, with eyes that look like they've been waiting for too long. "You came," she whispers. Her voice trembles with relief. She reaches out a hand, not to hurt him, but to hold on to something she lost. "Kelvin," she whispers his name, even though he never told her. Behind her, shadows gather like a closing curtain. The truth hits him. She doesn't just wait. She chooses, and tonight, she thinks he's the one she waited for. She steps closer. "Don't leave me again." The shadows surge forward. Kelvin stumbles backward. The door slams shut. The next morning, Kelvin wakes up on the dorm floor, freezing, his door wide open. Beside him lies an old photograph, a girl who looks exactly like the one he saw, standing next to a boy who looks eerily like him. On the back, a handwritten message. "Promise me you won't walk alone tonight." Kelvin never told anyone what happened, but every night he stays awake until morning, because now the knock doesn't come at 12:03 anymore. It comes at his window. 3 soft knocks, always gentle, always patient, always waiting. And the last thing he hears before he forces himself to sleep is her whisper drifting in the cold night air. "I finally found you."